This is a serious video. Having music and everything. Can't talk about the Grey's Anatomy. Hey, you and this one, Boyd.
I'll probably keep quiet most of the time.
It's okay. I clicked going live, so. Ugh. I don't know if anyone is going to be on this one. It's late at night, and I didn't announce it. So.
You are live.
I am live. Okay, wait. I'm gonna put it on my TikTok story real quick. What's a good picture? my air sands stuff. Live right now, talking about Joku.
This air sands.
It's gonna be very brief. Hi, chat. Hello.
Hello, Rosa Cooling.
Hi, Gray. Hello. This is gonna be very brief. This is gonna be a very brief live. Mainly because I know that the creators of the Call Out Doc are going to be watching this live stream because they saw my last one. It's not a secret. They commented on my live stream. I know that they saw it, and I know they're gonna see this one. And I'm making this before they release the English one, praying that they take my advice on some fronts. I'm also realizing that they did really, like, because for a little bit, the Google Drive that was in the description of the original video wasn't working. Like, you couldn't see anything. There was nothing in there. It was empty. And that was supposed to have, like, a bunch of other screenshots of, like, evidence that they didn't include in the original video. So, I haven't been able to go look into that because it only got, like, I don't know when it got released yesterday, but it was probably, like, later in the night. So I haven't been able to look through all that evidence just yet. So I'm not going to be going too heavy on, like, the original critique I had in mind about, like, some of the evidence stuff. I'll mention some things, but, like, overall, I'm not going to really be diving too deep into evidence critique. Oh my god, someone named Aramir's in the chat. That's perfect. That's beautiful. I actually don't know if I'm going to be playing the video, so I might actually play some music. Hello? Why did it...
Sorry, I was just checking the sound on your stream.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's fine. I just didn't want a thing to happen yesterday where you were talking and, like, then the mic is, like, not plugged in or something.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't scare me.
That's why I checked.
Oh gosh. Okay, hold on. I'm turning on music because I actually don't know if I'm going to be playing the video. I might just be talking about my overall thoughts until I can look through that additional video in the Google Drive. Hold on.
Yeah.
What should I play? This is such a sad song that I'm putting on right now.
I never hear the music when we go live.
You never do?
No, because I'm not watching the stream. I'm in call with you.
Oh. It's 500 miles. I think I sent it to you.
Because if I listen to the stream, it would be delayed, our conversations.
Ooh.
So I listen to you, but then I don't get the music.
Okay. You're gonna have to see my YouTube search history, chat. Kidding. Okay. So, I do have some stuff I want to say about the video because I did watch it with a group of friends, and I do have some criticisms about the video and about the structure. First things first, this video is broken into sections, and one of the sections I will not be talking about at all is the Koa section, which is the victim of Joku, who is claiming that they are getting groomed, or were groomed. I am not going to talk about that section. I don't think it is fair at all to try to like pick apart like the what's the word? Validity of like someone's story, like if they were groomed or not groomed, whatever the case. I feel like that is such a bad thing to do. That is such a bad thing to do. So I'm not going to be doing that. Um and I'm not really even going to be picking apart a lot of this stuff like concretely just yet cuz again, the Google Drive has a bunch of screenshots I have not been able to look at yet. So I don't want to talk and say something and then like it'd be like, "Oh, it's in the Google Drive." So you know. But no, we will not be talking about Koa's story. That's Koa's story. Whatever like happened to them still affected them and still hurt them. We're not going to try to like break down or pick apart their story and like if there's enough screenshots or evidence. No. No, that's not okay. It already takes a lot to come forward. So that is one section we're not going to be talking about. However, my first critique actually is about the structure of the video and the actual positioning of the sections. So there's some pretty bad stuff in this video, and there's some pretty not so bad stuff in this video that honestly should not be put to the forefront. A lot of the anonymous testimony is put to the forefront of the video, and then we get into the actual really heavy and like proof backed up stuff a lot more. And I don't really like that structure. When I was watching this video with my friends, it became a problem where the first part of the video was the anonymous testimony section. The thing about an anonymous testimony, it is very finicky type of evidence. And it's always been like that in court of law and like any type of like argument that there is. Anonymous testimony is some of the most flimsy evidence you can use. I'm not saying that these people's stories are not valid or they're just lying. However, it takes a lot less like credibility from the video. Starting off with your anonymous testimonies is not a good look because it makes it look like you don't really have a lot of evidence. It makes it look like you just have people saying things with no screenshots to back up some of the stuff they're saying. Now, in some of the testimony, there is some screenshots. But most of them are just them talking about what happened to them. Again, which is fine. But that is probably the weakest evidence in this video. It's not good to start with that. A lot of my friends, when we were watching it, left in the middle of us watching it because they were getting bored. Because there was no evidence throughout it. It was just people saying this is another testimony of someone that we're not going to name, that we can't even confirm knew Joku for sure because it's an anonymous person. And we're going through all of these before we actually get into the stuff that is concrete. Or with Koa, who is actually like, you know, present and being open, with Joku actually confirming that they were friends. It's not good to start with that. So I think for the English video, it should definitely be reworked. I don't know if they're going to listen to me. But my best advice is to put the country human stuff first, because that is actual video proof, which everyone in that call that remained, that saw that part of Joku straight up being like, I want incest of Spain and Mexico. That's crazy. That was crazy. But it's in the middle of the video. After a bunch of anonymous testimony that we can't even, like, concretely confirm. But compared to a video of Joku's voice saying the most fucked up shit ever. It's not even comparable. Like, the country human stuff should probably be first, so it could catch the attention of everyone who's watching it. Because not having that at the forefront is gonna cause, like, viewer retention to just fall. Or they're just not gonna take in all the actual stuff. how can you even incest countries? It's country humans. Apparently, I'm not in that fandom. I had to get this explained when we were watching the video. Apparently, in the country human fandom, usually the countries that like colonized the other countries are like the parents. So Spain is depicted as like the older brother or like the dad of Mexico. I'm trying my best to explain this. I don't know. I don't know. And I think sometimes like people will have different interpretations of the characters. However, Joku in the video was like, no, I want them to be brothers. I want them to be brothers, and I want them to like have intercourse. That's what I want. If you want to give me a gift, I want them to be brothers, which is crazy. Um, so that, yeah, you know, there's no getting around that. That is just straight up weird. It's her straight up admitting in 2019 on a live stream that she wanted incest as art made for her. And that's in the middle of the video. It's not in the beginning. It's in the middle. After anonymous testimony. That's just not even, it's also not read off, which I feel like is also like kind of an issue. Void, would you agree with that? Oh, you weren't actually there for
Well, that's an accessibility issue, I think.
It's an accessibility issue,
because
and also, go ahead, sorry.
because those can't be auto captioned, even with the English translations, like those won't be read out by a caption reader or anything if someone needs that. So that's more an accessible issue. But also within the Spanish translation, a lot of people like probably couldn't follow if they are not Spanish speakers. So
Another problem with that, it's like when we were watching the video, sometimes the screenshots would go by so fast. I couldn't keep up. Like it would be so fast. And I would just have to be like, "Oh my god, okay. Hold on." And I would have to like rewind like 2 times, and like the screenshots would go by so fast, and like it was hard for my translators because they didn't have any time to read the screenshots. So I feel like it would have been a lot better if the screenshots were read out loud. I know that takes a while. So I understand like if you don't want to do all that. However, an actual like thing that would help with that is just pausing a bit more on the screenshots and not breezing through them. There's this one moment in the anonymous testimony where it was like, it was proving that Joku said the N-word role-playing as Fresh in a Discord server, but I swear to god, the screenshot was only there for like 2 seconds. Not even that. No. It was there for like 0.0002 seconds. And it disappeared, and then it immediately just like hung on this like testimony instead of like the proof. I was jaw dropped. It took me forever to get a screenshot of that. Not a screenshot, like a pause to actually look at it, because like that's your evidence. Why are we breezing past that so quick? No. Let's wait a second. Have it on the screen a little bit longer. I can't see it. I can't see that. So that's another thing. The screenshots would go by so fast. It was like, it was really quick. I couldn't even like comprehend it. Anyways, back to the structure thing. The country human thing is just like, let's actually skip to that. Because I feel like, again, it's just a video. Trigger warning, because it's gross. It's her talking about, it's in Spanish, so if you don't know Spanish, maybe it will disturb you. But it's gross. It's gross.
Con cualquier país. Dije con cualquier país. No dije con Rusia. No dije Rusia. En ningún momento dije Rusia. Con cualquier país teniendo... Y entonces, no sé por qué me dibujaron a Rusia. ¿Qué? No te entendí.
Que te va a dibujar España por tus colonias.
Oh, Dios mío. Sí. Por México, sobre todo. Y se lo pasas a Cero. A Cero le va a gustar verlo.
A mí pásamelo.
Pero, que España sea Luque. Si España es el semi, no lo queremos ver. Yo al menos yo no lo quiero ver. Yo quiero ver a...
Which, for context, semi means, Doodler had to explain this to me, bottom. It's gross.
Pero me gusta mucho México por España. O sea, como estuve 7 años en México, le tuve mucho cariño al país. Entonces, como yo soy española, siento como, por ser española, llamar México es como México por España, ¿sabes? Pero lo quiero ver juntitos. Sorry.
No, jalo, completamente de acuerdo. Estoy de acuerdo. Está raro.
Hazme un dibujito de México dándole un borreo a España. Por favor. Yo quiero ver eso. Un beso.
Vaya,
Un
vaya.
beso de lengua. Dice
Ay.
España por todos, o sí o sí. ¿Hay algún otro país que España no se dejaría dar por detrás por él, sino que él daría por detrás? Por ejemplo, no me imagino a España siendo... ¿Qué país podría ser? Marruecos. No me lo imagino.
Yolanda. Uruguaya.
Mucha gente me dice, entonces significa que España es hermano
I
de
think
ellos.
this is where she talks about how she wants them to stay brothers in her
Yo,
content.
no, España es padre de ellos porque
Is their
literalmente
father.
fue España el que puso más o menos las fronteras. No fue España fue con
Además de
So that is her talking about how she wants them to kiss. And then another stream clip of her being like, no, Spain's the dad. That is so weird. That is literally her voice saying the weirdest shit. And look where it is, guys. 10 minutes in the video. It should not be here. It should be at the front. It should be at the front of the video. Because that is the most, like, jaw-dropping part of the video. It catches the viewer's attention. It makes the viewers stay. Because that's crazy! That is, like, the best evidence you can have. It comes from the horse's mouth. It is coming right from her. But having this so far, like, back in the video, some people might click off before they get to that. Like some of my friends did. Which, you know, that's not good. That's not good. Hold on, I'm changing the music. Because I don't like this song right now.
It definitely should be the hook at the forefront, I think, and then it could be a segue into the other things.
Well, I think the second section should be Koa's section. Because Koa...
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Yes, this video was advertised as Koa's story. And for more context, Koa is the main victim that's come forward publicly with their identity and is like, you know, I was, like, there was an abuse of power between me and Joku. All that type of stuff. So, this was supposed to be Koa's kind of, like, video of, like, them coming forward and saying their story. But it's the very last section. It starts right here. See it right here. It should not be here. It should be at least second. It should maybe even be in front of the country human stuff. It shouldn't be last, is my point.
Yeah.
People came for Koa. Like, people came for Koa's story. Starting with the anonymous stuff for 10 minutes with very limited evidence, it's not good. So, yes, it's last. And
It definitely should be first or second, I agree.
And I think it's a perfect segue into the anonymous testimony. Because you should always deliver your strongest evidence first. Always. And so then going into the anonymous testimony, that at that point is like, yes, we have less evidence for this stuff. It is all anonymous. However, this is more stuff of what's been said about Joku. We had like the heavy hitting stuff first, and here's just some extra stuff. So, okay, wait. I think you can see right here. Let me show. Yeah, I think that shows the thing.
You can see it on your screen right now. That it's down there.
Yeah, I had to scroll down a little bit though, because I think it cut off some of the letters a little bit. So that, I don't know if they're watching this stream. They might. They watched my last one. Please, while you're editing the English version, if you want my best advice, please reorganize the sections. Please, for audience, like, radiation? What's the word?
Retention.
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 Thank you, Void. Because, again, people will click off. And again, I'm not going to get into Koa's story. I will say Koa does have the longest segment. I'm almost positive. So there is that. Thank God that Koa got the most runtime. I would hope. You know, this is their story. But yeah, the structure already just is like something I would not do. And again, I'm saying this because I want this to hit as hard as it can, because that country human thing and what Koa talks about is gross. It's gross! You don't want your argument to fall flat. Especially since that stuff should be seen.
Yeah.
What was some of my other critique with the anonymous testimony? Okay. This is where Rosa Cooling's gonna sound a little bit mean. I have my hands up. I'm gonna be as nice as I possibly can while giving this point. A lot of the anonymous testimony, I feel like it is very mundane. There is some stuff that is really bad. We find out, I think in this section, one of the sections here, about, oh, here it is. Wait. Let me go through the video, actually, to find where it is. No!
Con error. Y usaba...
Okay, so, trigger warning for inappropriate content. But, as you can see, that is Joku. What Joku is doing commands that have, like, this is like a bot, in Discord servers, where you can use it to, like, make an anime gift appear if you do a certain command. There's some weird information about what this server exactly was. It made it sound like it was like a minors only server and Joku was let in. However, we find out later in one of the testimonies there are some moderators who are 18 and above 18. So I don't know if, like, one of our translators misunderstood something, or there was conflicting information, like it wasn't a minors only server and it was actual, like, you know, like there was adults there. However the case, there was minors in the server. That is clear. So Joku being, like, how old was he during this? I think he was like 28? He was like 28, doing these commands to random people in a Discord server. We have no idea if he did know the ages of the people that he, like, were doing these commands to summon little inappropriate anime gifts. We have no idea. However, in any case, you should not be doing that because the children can still see it, even if it's not directed to them. So we do find out in these testimonies about that. That is really weird. Just very inappropriate around minors. That I feel like we already knew. Unfortunately, he has a habit of that. However, a lot of the other stuff, I'm trying to find the specific one I was talking about. There was one testimony that was talking about how he just has, like, a temper, which we already knew. And, like, it's bad. I feel for the person that was talking about it. However, when we compare that testimony to the other anonymous testimony, where it's talking about Joku being, like, really weird around children, not necessarily to children, because we don't necessarily have any proof of, like, them directly going into DMs trying to get stuff from children in that regard.
In the video alone.
In the video alone. There could be stuff in the Google Drive that I don't know about. However, in the video, all the stuff that we have is, like, just being inappropriate around minors, which Jakey is also guilty of, unfortunately. A lot of the old creators were guilty of that. It's one of the things that Jakey was accused of, as well as her husband. So, you know, you hold one of them accountable, you have to hold the other one accountable. Pick and choose, you can't do that. I don't think any of them were okay with doing that. However, you know, it's not him going directly and talking to children in the video. And if there is stuff in the Google Drive of him, like, talking weirdly in DMs of children, that should be in the main video. That shouldn't be in the Google Drive. That should be up here. I'm just saying that now. If, like, I get a comment and it's like, but there's stuff in the Google Drive. Why was that not in the video? No. Let's put that in the video. Anyways, one of the testimonies was basically being like, Joku has a temper. There's other stuff about Joku just being a bad friend and venting a lot to children, or just anyone around him, which is bad. But when we put that next to him doing those commands, it doesn't feel like much, does it? It falls a little flat. I feel like even the structure of the testimonies need to be switched up as well. Again, we have to start with the most hard-hitting stuff first. So, I honestly think it should have started with, like, the command stuff and, like, a lot of the, racism. Hold on, I'm trying to find the section. First, not just like, oh, he was a bad friend. We can talk about that. However, that's not necessarily cancel-worthy. What's cancel-worthy is how he's acting around children, him abusing his power, etc., etc. Hold on, I'm trying to find where the other thing. Okay, so this is also another section that confused me and my friends. So if you, okay, I remember what these screenshots say. Basically, Joku was complaining about how they, like, were in a call by themselves, and someone joined and I think played a soundboard, like, super loud in their ear, and he got really mad and insulted them. However, we don't know what the insult was, they never show it. He insulted them and got mad at them in the general chat. This is him basically being confronted for that and being like, you shouldn't be doing that. And him defending it and being like, well, this was, like, really mean to do to me because I'm autistic, and, like, getting really mad. I think, yeah, I think he talks about how he was going to go to another admin and talk about it, and the other admin just kind of brushed it off, and as you can see, Joku got mad and was like, do you know how many problems I have for being autistic? This isn't really anything. This should not be paired up with racism, him doing weird ass commands, and I don't see how this has, like, you know, any comparison to the other stuff that is in this video. I think it's
It's
important.
kind of like
Go ahead, Boyd.
when you're writing an essay on something and you build your thesis statement around a subject, you have to stick to evidence based off that subject and you keep that in there. And you don't want to tangent off into other points or it destructures your original point.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of a demonstration of this. And while, yeah, that stuff is important, sure, it demonstrates a lot of the behind the scenes of a person that maybe they want to demonstrate. It kind of, when put against the other stuff, falls flat, like you said, or is like feels unsynchronized.
Yes. I really think the testimony should be reworked, because I understand why this is in here. My Spanish friends were also telling me why it was, like, structured like this. It's to just show, like, frequent results of, like, abuse of power from Joku, which is true, because if there was mostly minors in this server and he was an adult, I understand why him being rude to, like, a moderator who potentially could be a child. I don't remember if this person was. I understand why it's in here. It just shows unprofessionalism, and it is something to know about someone so you could avoid them. However, it should not be one of the first. This should not be one of the first things that we talk about here. I feel like the testimonies should be restructured too. I feel like the order of the testimonies should be restructured from, like, craziest, and I'm not trying to belittle any of the other stuff in the testimonies. I'm meaning more like we go from, like, children being hurt, racism as well, and all that stuff, and then, like, oh, he's a rude person. You know what I mean? Starting with, he's a rude person, but also he's racist. Like, that is insane. People are gonna click off before then. They're gonna be like, oh, it's just shutting on him for stuff we already knew. That he's a rude person? Yeah, we knew this. This has been known in the fandom for so long. We know he's an asshole. But, you know...
This is almost a demonstration of what maybe should have been in the doc.
Yeah.
Or even tied to, like, the country human thing and, like, showing the demonstration of the person behind the thing before getting, like, you know, as a shooting up into what happened, you know.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, because I think a lot of the Google Doc, and I could be wrong, a lot of the Google Drive is Koa's stuff, like Koa's content. Okay. So that should have been in the video. I don't think Koa stuff should have
Yeah.
been banished to the shadow realm of the Google Drive. This is Koa's video. I think I understand why they did it, because they didn't want visual noise, is what they said. Which, yeah, even like looking at all the screenshots they did add, it was a lot. However, I really think they also wanted to get it out as quickly as possible because they set themselves a deadline. So they were really trying to get it out quick. Again, I understand that you felt like you had a time limit, and you probably feel like you have a time limit with the English video. You can take your time. Don't try to rush it just to meet a deadline when it comes to stuff like this. You could take, like, a month to edit an hour-long video where it goes more into depth about all the conversations Koa had with Joku, so we can see more stuff and more details about that. Because I'm assuming Koa is comfortable with sharing that, considering I think a lot of it is in the Google Drive. If they're
And I
comfortable
think that would really help.
it would.
That would really help.
It would help. I do think it would be important to add Koa's stuff more. Because a lot of the screenshots we got for Koa's section, this is the only critique I'll have, because again, I'm not belittling Koa's story. What I am critiquing is the structure of it, because it paints them in a bad light, which I don't want. So, a lot of Koa's section was them sending screenshots to Mimi, who was the original creator of the call-out doc, and sending that and like being like, this is what Joku would say to me. And it was screenshots we saw, but it was nothing really crazy. It was like them talking about an ex, a Joku maybe not having the best response. It didn't get into the nitty gritty. You know what I mean? Hi, Inkface. It didn't get into the nitty gritty. However, I think a lot of that's in the Google Doc, and it's just not here. What we have here is just them talking to Mimi about it, and Mimi being like, yeah, that's weird. That's not evidence. That's not showing what happened to you. That should not be what you replace from your actual, like, conversations with Joku. If you're worried about the video being too long, I don't want you to be worried about that. I think it's best that it's longer, because it's showcasing
And more in depth.
Yes, it's showing more and more of all the stuff Joku did, because condensing it to a 22-minute video honestly makes it look like there's not a lot of stuff. Breezing through it makes it look like there's not a lot of stuff. The fact that you put it all in a Google Drive makes it look like there's not a lot of stuff. And I'm not saying that there's not a lot of stuff. You said you have almost like 200 screenshots. So they should be here. If it's for Koa's story, they should be in the video. You need to have stuff that is backing up completely what you're talking about. Not just a conversation with another person where you're talking about what happened. That's the problem with anonymous testimony. You're just hearing what someone's saying. Where anonymous testimony is really hard because you have no idea what the bias is behind the person, because you don't know who the person is. We have no idea why they could actually be participating in this Joku drama. And while I want to believe all the testimony, we don't know who they are. And having that same kind of problem with Koa's section, where we don't actually get to see a lot of the stuff that happened that the testimonies are talking about, it's all put away. That's not good. I don't know how else to say it. It's not good. It doesn't make you look good. It doesn't make people immediately want to believe you. And I don't want that, for any of the victims in this video, especially Koa. I want Koa to be able to have a strong case completely, which is why I'm making this live before they, release the English one, because I feel like the English community is a lot more critical than the Spanish one. I'm just gonna be blunt with that. You could see it from my live stream. My live stream, we were very critical of the original call-out docs when I saw that a lot of my Spanish mutuals were a lot more, kind about it. A lot of the English speakers were immediately critical, and that's because we come from an internet section where we are dealing with art commentary drama all the time. It's like our bread and butter. It's what we watch all the time. So it's a whole entire section of the art. It's the art commentary channels. We're used to dissecting this type of stuff, and so people are going to be naturally more critical. So you know, I want this video to be as ready as it can be. And if that takes taking more time for specifically the English video, I wouldn't judge you for that. I don't think rushing to meet a deadline because you don't want to disappoint people is the right thing to do, because it creates content like this where the structure is messy, we're not getting all the information, we're getting just like secondhand information rather than like actual like, you know, screenshots. And when we do get screenshots, they go by super quick because you're trying to speed up time. There just needs to be a lot more thought put into the English section, because I do not want this to be ripped entirely to shreds.
Yeah, I feel like when this reaches, like when it does get translated into English, it's going to reach a larger part of the fandom,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to invite a lot of discussion around it, whether good or bad. So I think it should take the time to be as polished as it can be, and so that their points are getting lost, and that their points are there.
Yeah. It's just about being prepared, and I don't feel like this video is fully ready. It feels like a first draft in some ways, like almost afraid to show the full picture, which, you know, isn't good when we're handling really like hard topics like this. I'm trying to think of what else is in this video that I wanted to talk about. I understand a lot of the testimony's point of like not having proof because a lot of it was over
Voice calls.
like over voice call, yes. However, the server where most of the people were minors that they talk about was a roleplay server. Is that server still up? One of my critiques that I had about that conflicting information, and again, it could be a translation error. I want that to be clear. It could have been one of my translators messed up. However, one of my translators did say that it was like, they said it was a minor only server and that they had an age limit for the mods, like you couldn't be above 18. Yet another testimony who was in that server said that they had moderators that were over 18. That's directly conflicting. And for a while we thought like, oh, is this a different Discord server? It was the same Discord server. So, was it a minors only server? Was it not? What was the rules? I feel like if you have access to the original screenshots of Joku doing that stuff in the Discord server, there should be screenshots like backing up that claim of like, oh, this that was mostly minors and this is why. Because maybe like some of the moderators were just over 18. It was a mostly minor server. Okay. Was there rules that discuss the age limit in the Discord that you could flash on screen that backs up that claim? So Joku knows, like we can definitely say that Joku knew what type of server he was joining and he still did those commands. You see what I mean? That would back up your claim so much. If you just get like a screenshot of the rules that showcases what that server was about, or even just like a scroll through like the intros where like most of the people were just like saying that they were under 18. And like you could censor the names and just take screenshots or whatever. And just show like the ages. Like that would back up your stuff so much more and showcase that Joku knew what he was doing, getting into a Discord, mostly of minors, knowing that most of them were fans of him, and was still acting inappropriately, and still acting like a jerk, and still doing those really weird commands where children could see it. Another thing that was just like glossed over that gets even more confusing is that apparently they had a not safe for work channel in the Discord. And I'm not gonna bash on children for having a not safe for work channel. It's children. They're not the smartest. I'm not saying that to be mean. It's like fundamentally, they're not the smartest. They're gonna probably put themselves in situations like that because they don't know better. That's where the adults should come in. But there's no evidence of that not safe for work channel. There's no evidence of any of that. Was it a minors only server with a not safe for work channel? Or was it a mixed age server where there was a not safe for work channel? And were children allowed in the not safe for work channel? If it was a mixed age one? Because then that also puts the moderators in a weird look. Why were the moderators allowing that? You know, it gets really messy really quick when you really start to think about it. And I think adding some more context and more backstory about this specific server, because a lot of the testimonies are from, you know, being around Joku in that server, would be really important. Could be a little section of like, here, for people who are confused, this is all from the same server, all this type of stuff. You know, it was really confusing because I had 3 Spanish speakers in there and all of them were so confused. And we kept having some join and then some of them leave, and it was like, I think we had a total of like 6 of them in there throughout the whole entire one, and like they were all confused on that section. So it's not just like a misunderstanding in English. There is some clarity problems in Spanish as well. At that point, the video's up. How many views do you got? 6K? Like, what are you gonna do at this point? It's up. I get that. You can't go back and, like, delete it when it has so much traction now. Completely understand that. However, you can do better with the English video, which is going to probably reach a whole other side of the fandom, that, you know, doesn't know a lot of the details about Joku's current, like, situations. Because I will say this. A lot of the English fandom have never been able to even see, like, Joku's live streams. So, I didn't even know that she was in the Country Humans fandom. But a lot of the Spanish speakers did. That is a disconnect between the English and the Spanish people, and that's not anyone's fault. However, it's just showcasing that you're going to get a completely different audience that doesn't have the same context that Spanish speakers do. And again, that's not your fault. That's no one's fault. However, you have to prepare for that if you are going to try to translate this video. If this is just for Spanish speakers primarily, I understand. And you just want to translate the video just to be, like, transparent with everybody. However, if you want this to reach all audiences, you have to understand that there's some context that we will not have as English speakers. We will not know the context behind a lot of these live streams. We will not know what goes on a lot of the time in these live streams. I've had Spanish friends talk about how Joku is very rude in live streams to people. We would not know that because a lot of them are Spanish. And I'm sure, like, this video is operating with the assumption of, like, oh, the whole Spanish community knows this about Joku. They know that Joku's mean in live streams. They know that Joku's a mean person. They know that Joku would join these Discord servers a lot of the time in Spanish. We do not have that context. So, we do not have these explanations. I will say this. We didn't know that Joku had a wife. I think my chat can probably speak for this. The English section of the Undertale fandom, we didn't even know that Joku was married. And correct me if I'm wrong, chat. If you knew, you can, like, have your good boy points or whatever and be like, I knew. I didn't know. I didn't know. Boy, did you know?
I had no clue.
None of my friends knew. He's been married for, like, 8 years?
I think the chat's kind of reflecting your point because everyone's saying what?
Yeah. No, none of us know that. And I feel like there's a whole section about Joku's wife kind of, like, shrugging off some of the stuff that, like, is being accused. But you see my point? There's a disconnect between the English and Spanish section. None of us even knew that she was married. Or he, sorry. I'm still trying to... Everyone keeps using different pronouns for Joku, and I'm getting confused. I'm sticking with he because that's the most common ones I've been seeing, but he's married. He's married, and none of my chat knew this. He's been married for 8 years. 8 years. And the call-out post is just like, oh yeah, everyone knew this. And also, like, everyone knows that, like, Joku's wife streams on Twitch. As you can see, everyone knows that. No, we didn't! No, we didn't! And I'm not faulting you. Because it makes sense that, like, everyone around you would already assume that, like, this is known because they're all Spanish speakers. You're like, yeah, this is widely known. It's not. It's not. There's so much context, like, with this situation and, like, the people within it that English speakers just do not have. Which is why it's going to be, that's why I think it's really hard to be translating a lot of the stuff that's happening. And why Mimi has been struggling with like people misunderstanding things. Like I misunderstood stuff in my live stream. It's because we don't know. We haven't been here. We're just seeing it go on Tumblr. And we're like, wait, what? He's married? For 8 years! He's been married for that long? Wait, what? Like none of us knew. It's not known in the English side of the fandom. We haven't watched the live streams. We haven't actually been in any Discord servers with Joku because Joku only joins Spanish ones. We don't know any of these actions. We don't have any context. So if you want to make this video like widely known to the whole fandom, not just Spanish, and like that's what your efforts are, and that's what you're wanting to do, with the English translated video, there's gonna have to be a lot more explanation and a lot of more breakdown of like who these characters are, because we don't have it. We're just going along with the ride. We have no idea what's happening. So that's probably why a lot of like Spanish speakers are like not surprised by some of the information in here, while English speakers are like, where's the proof? And then you're like, but it's like, you don't need it because it's like everyone knows this. But then we're like, no, we don't. So you know that could also be a problem. Like we just don't know. We don't know.
How old is Joku?
32.
Okay, people in chat were just confused about that.
He's 32. I'm pretty sure. Or 34, because I don't remember, because he did lie about being like 2 years younger, apparently, when he was in the fandom, because people were getting on his ass, apparently, for like being 2 years older than Jakey when he was dating her. So that's
34.
32 or 34. I'm not sure. But he's in his 30s. When the Discord server was a thing, he was... How old was he? He was, I think he told them he was 26? And he was actually 28. I think that's what it was. So he lied about like 2 years off of his age. When he was actually 28. So yeah. Yeah. He's old as hell! He's old as hell! I forget how he was beefing with Kanye when Kanye was 16 and he was like 24, 25. Ay ay ay! That's so funny. It's not funny. He should not have been beefing with a 16-year-old, but like it is a little bit. It's a little bit funny.
It's just shocking.
It's shocking. It's a little shocking. Scarf is more unk than you. Damn, we're getting some wild diss in my chat. Also, this might be a controversial take. I don't think there should have been any section with the wife, about, like, the wife. I feel like it just got off the point. This is about Joku, and I think I know why they included it, because it's supposed to be showing that, like, he has weird tendencies of control with his wife. If, like, he came home from the mental hospital after a lot of the accusations, and the wife went live, which is, like, this is what the section's about. And she was talking about how when he came home, he was like, let me see your phone, because I know you were talking to Koa, who was the victim. It was like, I know you were talking to Koa and giving information, let me see your phone. And the wife was like, no, I didn't talk to Koa. And then it flashes on the screen, that the wife did talk to Koa. Hold on, where is it? It was so funny. Wait, where is it? Please, it was, oh my god, I think it goes away too quick that it's not even popping up on the thing. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, we're just gonna watch.
Pues he hablado contigo, que ha hablado contigo y que aún la infidelidad aceptas estar conmigo porque eres una maltratadora. Y digo, ¿qué dices? Si no ha hablado nada, si escribió el mensaje, te lo enseñé.
See, so, the wife was like, I didn't talk to Koa. And then they fought. This was wild. This was such an... whoever edited this section, you are messy. I'm giving you some credit for this one. That was messy. This was funny. It made us laugh in the call. Immediately was like, no, you did talk to Koa. You did talk to Koa. And as you can see right here, they talked for a while. They talked for a while. Look at that. So, you know, Joku coming home and was like, I know you talked to Koa. And then the wife being like, no, I didn't. And then the wife did talk to Koa. I don't know. I don't feel like that really shows Joku being controlling. I think it shows that Joku was right and that they have a very toxic relationship. That is a whole other topic in the this situation that should not be in this video. This video is also not about the wife. If it's supposed to be about like how the wife is like shrugging off like the stuff that is being said about Joku, that doesn't matter. This video isn't about the wife. It's supposed to be about Joku. And we don't really need to like bring in the wife into this when she seems pretty disconnected from it all. I'm not trying to be mean. She's got 3 Twitch viewers in this, and then 0 on YouTube. I don't think her say-so is gonna sway any parties in this situation. Sorry, little mean Rosa came out there, little petty Rosa, but I don't think this is gonna sway anything. So I don't think she needs to be a part of this video. So, you know, was that too mean, boy? Hey, they might agree with me,
Wasn't
though.
put the most delicately, but you're right.
I mean, I'm not gonna be really delicate about someone who is, you know, excusing a lot of the shit that Joku's been doing, but you get my point. Like, I don't think this section needed to be there. It's not gonna be... Rosa, if you're too mean, we'll make you British again? Okay, I'll behave. I just don't think this matters. And it takes away time from, like, the other sections, you know? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit biased there, because, again, there could be context there that we don't know. Maybe the wife is a lot more relevant in the Spanish side of things, and this is another thing that we just don't really know the context for. So, you know. And it could be that. Trying to ponder. Because again, I don't want to get too deep into it because I don't know. I haven't read it, the extra stuff. I guess that's also just a small thing. Like, I feel like the Google Drive should have been checked first to make sure that it was completely ready before the video got released. Because my first instinct when I watched the video was like, oh my god, there's not a lot of proof. You know, there's not a lot of proof for stuff. Besides the racism one, there's a lot of stuff for that. And also being creepy around children. So, you know, there's just not a lot of screenshots, there's not a lot of stuff about, you know, it's just like, they should have probably double-checked that the Google Drive was up and running, because I don't think it was working for, like, a good while. We couldn't watch it, and we watched it, the video when it dropped. So it was like, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. We watched it yesterday. And that was when it's gonna get its most attention. And the Google Drive just wasn't working. Make sure the English version of the Google Drive is completely working before you upload the video. So, yeah. Oh, Boyd, should I mention that? I thought I said something that was, like, bad, and you were telling me to pull back. Should I mention?
I was just wondering if you were going to, because I know, like, that's also technically...
Okay, I guess...
You know.
Another thing I should mention... Okay. another big thing about the English video, Jakey, the creator of Underverse, is helping translate it. She publicly said this on her Twitter, in Spanish, but she is publicly stepping forward to help the team translate the video. The reason why this is important is because that statement is going to bring in so many other English viewers. They're going to bring in people who don't like Jakey. They're going to bring in... Jakey has also said it on Tumblr, too. It's going to bring in so much more of an audience.
It's going to bring in generalized Underverse viewers that have no clue what's going on.
Exactly. So if you think I'm tearing apart this video, when I have a lot more context than a lot of people, the English video is going to get torn apart a lot more than the Spanish one. Because again, like I said, we don't have context to things. Seeing someone who is a big figure in the Underverse community coming forward and helping translate this video and advertising this video, the English version, it puts a lot of weight on the English version. So that is why I say you have to be so careful with this video. And I'm not trying to like scare anyone. I'm not trying to say like everyone's gonna come to your house and beat you with hammers. But like
No.
but like that's not gonna happen. However, people are going to be critical. People are going to be cutthroat. People are not going to be as nice as I am and not like go into Koa's section. And I'm not saying this to put myself on a pedestal. People are mean. People are mean. The general audience... No, I'm not, Grace. Stop it. The general audience of the English section is wide and tends to be a bit mean. I feel like we can all kind of agree on that. It's always fighting. There's always fights. A lot of people also still don't like Jakey for the things that Jakey has done. There's going to be critique everywhere. It's going to be a lot heavier than the Spanish version.
With confusion comes discourse. So
Yes.
if there's parts that aren't adding up for the English translation because there is that context barrier, that gap, there's going to be a lot of discourse in the comments regarding that.
Things need to be explained a lot more. Some screenshots need to be like added. I feel like the structure of the video needs to be redone. Because I do think some of the stuff in this video is important. And the reason why I'm making this live stream now on a Sunday night, just really random, is because I'm hoping that they do see this. Mimi and Koa and any of the other team members. I'm hoping they do see this. And I'm hoping they watch this stream, know that I am saying this out of like genuine worry. The reason why I was so critical in my original live stream was because that is going to be the reflection of a lot of the English speakers, unfortunately. And I was nice in that live stream. I made jokes. Morgs made a lot more jokes than I did, but we made jokes. We weren't taking it super seriously, but we were still nice, and we were still waiting and hoping for Koa's side. So, you know, I'm just saying it's gonna get a bit more critical. Please, if you need to take more time with this video, take more time. If people get mad at you for taking more time, ignore them. Because it will be better to not release just a translated version of this video. It would be better to release a better, put together video of, different structure, more context, more recorded stuff. Because even if people get mad about having to wait longer, it will be better received than if it was just translated from this video. Because already, I did not dive deep into the video. And I already had an hour worth of critique for the video. You see my point? People are going to dive deep into it. People are going to try to capitalize off of it and probably try to make videos off of it, the whole entire situation. I mean, I'm making a live stream, so what am I? I'm not monetizing it, so I guess I'm not capitalizing off of it, but, you know, I just want everyone on the team to be prepared.
Clips are going to be taken out of context and put on TikTok, especially when it comes English, when it reaches the English side of the fandom.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be taken out of context and
word is getting around in the
redistributed a lot.
English fandom. However, right now we have a lot of translated stuff in there's some information that's only in Spanish on Mimi's post.
Yeah.
There's this video that, like, you have to have a Spanish friend to be able to watch it, because you won't be able to read the screenshots otherwise. You'll just be able to see this.
So it is currently, like, people are starting to know about it, but it's like when the English video comes out, more people will know context surrounding it and the in-depth.
Yeah. If you think this stream is mean, and, like, I'm talking to Mimi and Koa and any of the team members here, if you think this video and this stream is me being mean and being cruel and trying to tear apart what you're working for, I hope you know that is the exact opposite of what I'm trying to do here. What I'm trying to do is help you from an English perspective. I am trying to give you advice as someone who knows how the English side of the fandom is. I'm trying to give you advice as to take your time. I'm trying to give advice to the translators, to the structure of the video, the editors, everything. Because if my critique is harsh to hear, I am utterly terrified for the other critique that you may get in ass box. Oh my god. Ass boxes, comments on the video, on Twitter, TikTok, anything. You know, this is a big deal. Again, we don't have context of this stuff. Joku is married. Like, yeah. Yeah. I really hope they do watch this live stream, because this is going to be really sad if they don't.
Hopeful.
I'm hopeful that they will, because I really do, like, want this video to do good, because there is some really bad stuff in here, and I want Koa's story to be told. I want all the people affected by Joku to be able to come forward. I want, like, a multitude of stuff. I want people to realize the stuff that we haven't been seeing as English speakers, you know? Because this is a big deal.
Yeah.
So, what I don't want is for this to become completely trashed and tarnished simply because of structure mistakes, mistakes of, like, screenshots and proof. And I know a lot of people have been saying on the team of, like, it's hard to find evidence and screenshots of a lot of this stuff because it was a lot of, like, VC. However, one thing that I pointed out with my friends, to showcase that Joku said something uncomfortable on a call, find screenshots of the victims talking to their friends about it and venting. Because I know, as someone who, like, has to deal with a lot of people in my, like, you know, life, as anyone does, if something happens on a call, I'll go to my friends about it. And I have evidence in our DMs of me talking about the stuff that they said. That's better evidence than just saying it happened. Showcasing that at least at the time that it potentially took place, you talked about it to someone. You vented about it to someone. That shows that it might have happened, because why would you make it up in, like, 2019? You know what I mean? It adds more credibility to you. So there is other ways and other proof you can get. For people that are saying that it's impossible to get the proof because it was all on VC, find screenshots of you talking about it from that time. Go through with your friends' DMs. Like, go through and, like, try to find if you ever vented about it somewhere random. Try to find a timestamp of that. Just, like, try to find something where you talked about the situation. Out of 6 anonymous victims, there has to be one person that talked about it with someone. That, like, during that time, not, like, after the fact, like, now, during that time, that expressed that they were uncomfortable. And you can censor the names to keep them anonymous. You just have to show the timestamps. And sure, people might be like, it's edited, but it's better evidence than leaving it blank. You know? If you truly do not have the evidence for some of this stuff, that is better than nothing. You may still get accusations of being like, these have to be edited. It has to be edited because it's all blocked. It doesn't matter. It's better evidence than nothing. You would rather have something than nothing, you know what I mean? So, there is stuff to find. Suggestion to something as well, if they do say something, take screenshots immediately, because otherwise they could have deleted the message, like on Discord. Yes, however, a lot of these situations happened in like 2019. So that's why people are saying that they don't have the evidence anymore, because either they have lost like accounts, they're not in the Discord servers it happened in, etc., etc. Has Joku said anything about this? Or from what I know, and Gray, correct me if I'm wrong on this, I think he is currently institutionalized in a mental hospital right now. I don't know if he got out. I don't know, because this is from... I don't know. Joku has privated most of his accounts. I'm not sure if he is currently in the mental hospital right now. I'm not sure. We don't... Yeah, I think the best thing to say is we don't know where Joku is. Just that he's privating everything. I also kind of want to reassure you guys about, like, because you guys said that you got a lawyer friend on the team. I don't think you need to worry. I know they're talking about having, like trying to get legal action, because that is something that I think Koa said, that Joku is threatening legal action. That's not gonna go far. Like, and shoot me in the foot if I'm wrong. You don't need a lawyer. You're fine. And I know they're like, they're giving you advice. A lot of the victims are cross country. So what that means is that Joku's not gonna be able to afford taking multiple people to court, like cross country. Do you know how expensive that is? And a lot of lawyers will not take that case for Joku and you, unfortunately. Like, no lawyers are gonna want to take in general. Okay, let me take a step back. Let me take a big old step back. Okay, so when it comes to like lawyer stuff and grooming and weird behavior online, a lot of the time people will not get in trouble for it. How many videos have you seen about notorious groomers online and then find out that like nothing has been done? There's no police stuff. Police reports were claimed to be filed, but they're still out. They're not in jail. There's nothing. I think there's only like Jin Bop that was sent to jail because he actually had illegal material from a victim, and the parents got involved. And then there was like Crystalie, who also had illegal material and got his computer taken away. Other people, the law's not going to care about this. It's all online. And I'm saying this to comfort you guys in some aspect. I know it's also sad because that means you can't get justice for some of the stuff that happened. However, you don't need to worry. That is empty threats. Joku cannot afford to do cross-country lawsuits. It's not going to be taken. No lawyer is going to take this case. Even if it was all in the same country, the same city, no lawyer is going to take the case, unfortunately. It's not going to happen. On Joku's end. On Joku's end, too. Because it's like, it's so petty. It's online. It's like, yeah, it's not going to work out. I mean, the only way I could see it is if Joku's only source of income was vendor stuff, because again, this stuff could get out and then it could bar them from vendor stuff. However, I don't believe that going to conventions is their only form of income. You can't claim that it's a loss of income because they probably have another job in the real life. So you're not going to have to worry. It's not going to affect his real life job, so that he can't claim loss of income. Unless, again, dude just doesn't have a job and he's just like working vendors, then maybe, but even then it's a very slim chance. You don't have to worry. It's not probably going to be a thing. And worst case scenario, you're going to get to court and it's literally going to be like, anyways, we're done here. This is stupid. And they're going to walk away. And then court adjourned. It's done. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get sued for this. You're not. Especially since it's an online character, because you haven't said Joku's, like, full name, I don't think. It's all been online names. That's another thing. I don't think any of them have stated Joku's actual real name. Which is really smart if you haven't. If you have, delete it everywhere. Delete it everywhere. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. However, if you have not said Joku's real, like, full name, you're fine. Because you can't say it's a, like, detestment of character or anything like that because it's an online character. Like, it's not affecting their real life and, like, who they are in real life and their real name. It's an online alias. That is not gonna go far in court. You're fine. Like, you don't need to worry. You're good. You're good, pals. Taking a little sippy sip of water. Is there anything else that I, like, am missing?
Nothing I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't think so. Sippy sip. Stop it, Gray! Leave me alone! I'm not an orphan.
Well, are we done here?
I think so, because I said everything that I could, and Gray's not telling me if
Decidiste que
I'm...
bloquear a esa persona.
Oh!
Y ya está.
Scared me. Gray's not telling me if there's, anything that I'm missing. Gray's just trying to cancel me now. Thank you! Thank you! Thank you, Gray. I think I'm good. Cause yeah, I was gonna get into like a lot more of the actual content in here, but again, I don't wanna like talk out of turn when there could be stuff backing stuff up in the Google Drive. I'm sure there's stuff that I said here where you're like, it's in the Google Drive. However, back to my original point, if that is true, it should be in the video. Because if I have to question it and be like, walk away from the video, not everyone's gonna click the description and see the context, you know? So, if your response to me is being like, it's in the Google Drive, probably should be in the video. Maybe add that to it. And also, if you can, get some people to read some of the screenshots, potentially? Question mark? It might make the video really long, but a lot of people don't like reading, and it just helps with accessibility. So, you know, that's my advice. I know that takes a while, but again, like I said, take as long as you need with the video, because a better polished video is better than one that's, you know, gonna get beaten with hammers. Rosa, are you gonna hit us with hammers? Yes. Put that on the Google Doc for me. Gray and Rosa are teaming up to beat us with hammers. Gray likes hammers and pipe bombs. I'm trying to, I think we're good. I think I covered everything. Yeah. Sorry, Cooling. Sorry, Rosa Cooling. We're getting taken down together. I guess my final send-off is, like, don't harass any of the doc makers. Rosa, do you plan to keep this live public? Yes. Like, I kept the original one public, too. I'm not gonna delete either one. I don't delete my lives. Unless I, like, get beaten with hammers so bad that they force me at, like, hammer point, I guess, to delete the video. But I don't think so. I don't think I said anything rude in this live stream. Chat, was I rude? was Cooling Rosa rude? I don't think so. I think I was nice. No, not the hammers. You ain't rude, okay. If we say yes, you'll beat us. Okay. Again, I gotta do like the little YouTube thing, even though I have high hopes with my chat that you guys will not do the things I'm about to warn. Don't go harass the original, like, doc creator. Don't go harass Koa. Don't harass anyone in the making of the video. Don't harass Jakey. Don't harass Joku. That's not gonna help anything. That is not what this live stream is about. I don't think any of the people in here besides Joku is a bad person. They are definitely new at making call-out docs. No one's supposed to be well-versed in it. You don't ever want to have to make a call-out doc. So, like, you know, don't go to, like, their Tumblr and be like, hey, your video sucked. That is not the point of this live stream. That is the opposite of what this live stream is about. It is gentle critique of how it could make the video better and how it could, like, have English people, like, handle it better. Because in here, in the Rosa Cooling community, we support victims, and we want them to actually tell their story in the best way that they can. So, do not go to any of the Tumblrs or the YouTube of this and be mean. Do not. I do not condone that whatsoever. These people are not bad people. They went through, like, traumatic shit. So, yeah, like Sketch said, if you're well-versed in callouts, are you okay? Probably not. You shouldn't be well-versed in them. Like, the fact that they aren't well-versed kind of showcases that this is new for them. That's fine. Honestly, that's how it should be. However, you gotta prepare. You gotta be ready. Because people are mean. To any of the people who are on the team. And I keep saying Mimi and Koa's name because they are the ones that are, like, most public about it. This is not an attack. This is not me trying to cut down what you guys went through. This is not me trying to insult the video. This is not me trying to insult you as people and trying to insult the things that you talk about. What this video is me being kind to you and trying to prepare you. Because you need to be ready for the, like, drawbacks you're gonna get from the English side of the fandom. Because I don't know if you are. And that's okay. It's two completely different worlds. However, as an English speaker who is well versed in this side of the fandom, who, dare I say, is getting pretty up there and well known in, like, the newer sphere of Undertale creators, be careful. Take your time. It's okay. Are you gonna stream again for the English version? If they do see this live stream and they do change things, maybe. Maybe. It's a big maybe because I would probably want to watch the video first, before doing so, you know, to get my thoughts in order, because I wanted to watch the video off stream, so I could get all my reactions out with my friends and then, like, properly come here and get my, like, words together. You probably could tell from the beginning of the stream I was a bit nervous, my voice was shaky, because I wanted to make sure I worded myself as best as I could. So I had to make sure that I was properly prepared. So if I did, I would announce it. I would have watched the video before. And if people want me to do it, then I will. However, it would probably be similar to this video, where I talk generically about it and I don't dive deep into watching the video, because that's going to be like a 4-hour live stream that I don't have the mental energy for, chat. I'm so sorry. Like, I just don't. The call with my friends, we watched it for like 4 hours because we kept pausing and reading each screenshot to make sure we had a full grasp of things, and we translated every single little text. So yes, call out creators. We translated every single screenshot in the video. Every single one, so we could get a full idea. So this isn't coming from me being dumb. This is me, like, coming here and being like, I know what I'm talking about. I watched the whole thing. I did everything I could to make sure I understood. Yeah. However, I don't think there's any drama channels, in the Undertale fandom. Araplunian? I think? I'm so sorry if I butchered that. In, like, the Undertale fandom. I feel like, boy, is it rude to say that I feel like I'm the closest thing to, like, one of the bigger commentary channels in the Undertale fandom?
Don't get a big head now.
I know, I feel bad. I get 15k views on my video essays. I'm so famous. But I don't think there's anyone else that really does it.
True.
Oh yeah, there maybe has been hotel ones. But I don't know if Joku or Sammy, whatever is, like, super famous in there? I don't know. English people are meanies, I'm so sorry. Everyone send Rosa money. They're so tired. Subscribe to my membership. You get, like, immediate access to videos. I have a drink video literally that has not seen the light of day, that was a gift to Gray, that is in the membership right now, that you'll be able to see early if you literally just buy it for, like, if you pay $1. Give me money! I will draw more drink. I'm not sure, I get overwhelmed seeing too much drama, especially when it's close to home like this. I understand that. It's also close to home in some aspects. I talked about it in a past live stream before, which is why it's also, like, I don't know if I would watch it live, because, you know, it's hard. Worried how the fans will react when this starts to get out to the public eye. I'm also worried about that, which is why I had to go live today. I don't think Joku is well known in the English side of Has-Been, probably. Should I have, like, a short little Q&A section, Void, before we log off? As we always do.
Maybe.
I don't think
I'm
a lot
just
of
gonna send
people...
you something real quick.
Okay. Okay, it's already starting.
Yeah.
Okay. Should I talk about this?
I just wanted you to...
I mean, it's on the video.
Good. I mean, the replies there from the creators.
Void sent me an English comment that's already critiquing the video, and it's already showing what's going to happen. Yeah. I think Koa's response is pretty good. However, it was about, like, in the drive section you will find all the evidence you need. You really should have it in the video. Because again, that's just a taste. That was 5 hours before my live stream even happened. It's already happening. And that makes me sad. So please take my advice and prepare as much as you can for that English section. That makes me sad. Thank you for telling me, Void. That makes me sad. But it needed to be seen. Okay, let me read the stuff I was seeing. Drinking Airmare's Peak. Yes, it is. Rosa, can we get more drink? You have had so much! Rosa, how do you think the English Dreamtale fans will react to this? I feel like a lot of them will react kind of like how I am. I want to hope that they'll be nice, but I also don't know. I don't know. That's the problem. I don't know. Rosa, why are you British? Why aren't you British? Rosa, it's 1:30 a.m. Why are we live? We had important things to talk about. Speaking of commentary channels, I need to make my script. As an English Dreamtale fan, I'm so sad I'm separating Dreamtale from Joku right now. Rosa, they're trying to silence me. At least Dreamtale isn't like Harry Potter fandom. You can still be a Dreamtale fan without supporting Joku in any way. That is true. I feel like reading is necessary if you write Fix Gray. It's so mean. How do you think the actual Undertale fandom will react to this? I mean, okay. If they don't take a lot of my advice, not very good, and it will come back onto them, which is very unfortunate. If they do take a lot of my advice, I'm hoping a lot better. I think people will be upset about it, but I think it'll be, like, hopefully a lot nicer. And maybe people will be, like, more skeptical about some things, but there is stuff in this video you can't, like, overlook. The country human stuff, guys, was pretty on the nose. And the commands, too. Like, you know, there is some stuff in here that is, like, you can't deny. So, you know. I think there's gonna be a lot of, like, discourse of, like, who should own Dreamtale now? Which I don't think matters. People were hurt. Who gives a fuck about who owns Dreamtale now? Joku hasn't even, like, drawn any content for Dreamtale in, like, 5 years. It doesn't matter. Just go consume Dreamtale. It's, like, basically community owned at this point. Gray owns it. Gray owns Dreamtail, but it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That should not be the point of this conversation. You know what I mean? It should not be the point of the conversation of, like, who owns Dreamtail. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. I feel like that's gonna be a main point of conversation, though. Always enjoyed fandom, Dreamtail anyways, so I haven't been interacting much with Joku's content. I never cared for the creator. I just hope none of my favorite fiction won't be vaporized because of it. Probably not, considering it's been widely known that Joku's been a jerk for a while. So people just keep making it. I feel like the English fans are probably going to be all over the place. I think people will understand, but I've seen a lot of young, immature fans. I agree. I do feel like there might be an atomic bomb dropped when everyone in the fandom sees this, probably. What was the country human stuff? I missed that part. Just Joku on a live stream being like, I like incest! So, you know. I'm so sad Dreamtail was made for incest purposes. We don't know that. That is not in the doc. There is no proof ever of Joku making anything Dreammare related. People keep making that claim, but there's nothing. Okay, bye, Gray, love you. Mwah! But there's no content that you can find of Joku making any incestuous content of the twins. Or even talking about it, because it doesn't exist. It's like they like incest everywhere except with their own characters, it seems. So, Dreamtail was not made for incest purposes, if that comforts you. I'm nervous about the situation, but remaining optimistic. Not saying for the stream, but is there anything related to other AU creators? No, there isn't. Jakey is kind of involved, but just as a translator. That's it. Point is that people were hurt. Dreamtail is similar to Underswap. It's been community owned for years. The community owns it. Yep. So yeah. If nobody has any more questions,
And we're gonna head out.
we're gonna go! Hold on, wait, let me do my little, leaving. We're gonna head out! I'm gonna repeat myself again. This was not meant as an attack. This was me being completely as nice as I can and warning people as an English speaker. Oh, I'm so sorry, Phantom Lily. We're about to leave. You can rewatch the stream, I guess. I'm so sorry. But yes, everyone be nice, everyone be kind, yada yada. Thank you for being here. All that stuff.